1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Realtor Association of Pioneer Valley's Community Hours program, where we talk with elected leaders from communities throughout the greater Pioneer Valley area. I'm your host, Peter Ruffini, and I serve the association as both a member of the board of directors and chair of the Government Affairs Committee. With me today, as always, is CEO Brendan Bailey and RAPV 2021 President Elias Acuna. Today, we're pleased to be joined by the Mayor of the City of Springfield, the Honorable Domenic Sarno. Mayor Sarno, thanks for being with us today to talk about what's happening in Springfield, and also joining you, we see your Communications Director, Bill Baker. Thank you as well for joining us. And I'm going to turn it over real quick to Elias as our president, as I know he's got a couple of words to say.
Sure. All right, well, thank you, everyone. And yes, thank you, Mayor Sarno, for joining us today. You've always been a great supporter of our business and realtors in general. You know, the man who remembers everybody, he's such a great communicator, so which is a testament to why he's actually been mayor for such a long time. So again, thank you for your time today. And Peter, go ahead and let's take it away.
Thanks, Elias. And yeah, you are correct. Mayor Sarno has an amazing memory. But you know what? That's just as in what he does, what we do, it's important to have those personal relationships. So, and speaking of that, I think we're, you know, as Elias touched on, we've had a pretty good working relationship, our organization, with the City of Springfield over the years. You know, working on a variety of issues, and you know, it's our goal, and part of the reason we do this is to for folks to see us as a partner, and to try to help solve issues that face our mutual communities. And one of those issues, Mayor Sarno, that has been, you know, an issue for communities across the Commonwealth in the last couple of years is that of short-term rentals and accessory dwelling units, otherwise known as ADUs, and that's an issue that we've had the opportunity to speak to the City Council a few times, and that's gone through the process with the City of Springfield. So it'd be great if you could maybe give us a quick update on that topic.
Sure, again, I want to thank each and every one of you and the whole association, because you really are our front door. There's a lot of great buys here in the City of Springfield. I know we've collaborated before on working together on letting people know all the good things that are going on in the city. And when you're selling those homes, you're bringing good and strong families of all creed, colors, and backgrounds to the City of Springfield, which makes for a stronger neighborhood, a stronger street, and a stronger stoop right in front of your home there. And I'm proud to say we've been very aggressive in a positive way with our first-time home buyers, and the most really in the city's history, and our Buy Springfield Now, which we have partnered with. And so I deeply appreciate that. On two fronts, on the short-term rentals there, our big thing there is, and we're working together with you, your association, is that we're able to protect the quality of life in the neighborhoods, and making sure that they're run correctly and not any issue that's cropping up with the neighborhood with good landlords. The other thing I want to bring up too, as we defeat this COVID-19, we put in about $2 million through Wayfinders to help families out. And I said it's a two-pronged effort here. Not only to help the family that's in that home, whether it's with their mortgages, with their rents, or with the utilities, but also to help out landlords too. It's a balancing act, and that's extremely important when you have bills to pay and they have bills to pay. So we put $2 million. Wayfinders is the conduit, and the more stimulus package that's coming in, we're going to be looking to that to keep families in their homes, and also to help you on your bottom line, which I think is very, very important, not only to your business but also to our tax base.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Wayfair, actually, because you know, Wayfinder, sorry, we, as an organization, everybody doesn't realize, you know, sometimes all the things that we do, but as an organization, both locally and at the state level, we lobbied for the state to increase funding for the Raft Program, which, as you know, has been vital for everything you just said, helping both landlords and tenants through this difficult time. So,
and we wanted to, I think it did happen. We advocated for it to be extended, that landlords would be able to have use of this to help their tenants be able to apply the technical aspects of that paperwork. And I think that's very, very important as far as people in their homes, and also the bills that you have to meet and pay also too.
Yep, absolutely. Certainly a lot of unique challenges all the way around that the last year has thrown at us. And speaking of that, one of the things, oftentimes people think of the Realtor organization, and rightly so, they think of houses and residential development and sales and all that kind of stuff. But we do also help and address other aspects of real estate, and specifically on the commercial side. And I want to have Brendan chime in here real quick, because a lot of folks don't realize the different ways that we can assist with, kind of redevelopment of areas that need it. And for example, commercial, that's in a big state of flux right now. There's a lot of big commercial employers that are now like, hey, geez, we have everybody working remotely. Are they going to come back or not? And if they do come back, are we going to reconfigure the space? Do we need a new space? So I think that's going to be an ongoing issue over the next couple of years, and something that we're pretty well equipped to help with. And Brendan can give us a little more info on that.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, and Mayor Sarno. Always good to speak with you. And yeah, that's one of the great things about our association. So, we are the Realtor Association of Pioneer Valley. Our jurisdiction is Hamden, Hampshire, and Franklin County, and all the municipalities that fall under there. There's also 12 others of us across the state of Massachusetts, and then there's our state association, as well as our national association, which represents 1.5 million realtors across the world. Really, really impressive when you think about what may just be our small local association here at home in Springfield, but what's really behind it, the power and responsibility that comes behind that. And with that, we have so many tools, as Peter was mentioning, that we can help municipalities, whether it's working on policy language. We have fabulous government affairs and legal teams that we can rely on to help us do bill analysis, things like that. Look at what other municipalities have done across the country, how it fits into what various areas are looking at. And we can also do things like grant programs, first-time home buyers, smart growth symposiums, things like that, where we can actually bring in experts from around the country, from our national association, and take yourself and other elected officials on essentially like a development tour of, hey, what are you guys working on? We've seen this happen in this city. Have you thought about this? Or are we trying to look this way? And obviously that's much more applicable when we're out of COVID, hopefully very soon. But it's just a really, really strong example of the things that we can do to be a part of not just, trying to change things, but that education piece, educating the citizens of Springfield, the elected officials, and everyone in between. So we'd love to be able to have that partnership with you guys and continue to grow in what we've already done so far.
And Brendan, you will, with my Chief Development Officer, Tim Sheen, because we've discussed that. Peter, what you brought up, we've discussed about the changing environment now with COVID-19. Some businesses, their footprint have found, and again, we pumped them up millions and millions of dollars to keep our small businesses going, have found that they've been able to survive or be able to move forward on a smaller footprint. How is that going to affect the physical plant of a business, of an office space? So these are things that we're all looking at. How is it going to affect our tax base? So with Chief Development Officer Tim Sheen and I and the Echo Dev team, these are things that are already being worked on. Prior to this COVID-19, Springfield was on the roll and a lot of different fronts. And what we're positioning ourselves now, once we defeat this COVID-19, is we want to come out. I know you look back 100 years ago and they talked about the roaring 20s. I'm hoping that we're going to have the roaring 20s again without the 1929 stock market crash, though. So when you look upon that, what realtors need or want, the schools now, well over $600 million of new schools and rehab schools have been built, which has strengthened our neighborhoods. You look at our test scores, you look at our graduation rate, you look at the huge decrease in the dropout rate to the lower single digits now, and graduation rate now hovering near 80%. With Superintendent Warwick, when I took over, that was about 50-50. And what we're being able to offer quality of life, one of the few cities in the nation that's still able to keep neighborhood libraries going. And I think that's extremely important. The innovations and initiatives that we've done on public safety has kept public safety and crime rate down. We always strive to do more, but when you look upon that and we try to balance, you really have had, before COVID-19, nearly $5 billion of economic development projects going on. And I think where the partnership has been very valuable to us, we have partnered many times, public-private partnerships, to move projects forward. And I think that's going to be a key component. But Peter, what you and Brendan brought up is you're very, it's a key point. The environment has changed now. Does everybody come back? Do people still work remote? How much space do I need the businesses that are down here? What do we need now with some of the properties you have, as far as, besides housing aspects, some of the properties you have is a throwback to the old school. You have housing and it's zoned for business. You can do some business work on that. So that's all being looked at now, and your partnership will be invaluable. I know we're going to be doing something in September with your expo, your business and educational fair and marketing fair. So I look forward to doing that. But Brendan and Peter and Elias, that's a key point. How can people continue to do their business when it comes to their real estate, their footprint, their physical plan? And that's something that we've already been looking into. We want to set the stage that we come out with momentum again.
Yeah, and I'll say, you know, it's interesting, Mr. Mayor, you had mentioned that, you know, Springfield was on a roll and then COVID hit. And I recall that the last event, I think that the three of us, and actually you were there as well, was the area Chamber of Commerce event, right down at Mass Mutual Center.
That's right.
And it was, what's that?
That's right. It was that, yeah.
Yeah. That was the last event I think we're all at before this hit, and it kind of ironic, but yeah, I still remember all of the good news that was being talked about in that meeting, you know, from the lieutenant governor on down, and you know, but I do think that we've shown our resiliency here in the state, but especially here in the Springfield area and in Springfield itself. So I know we're optimistic. And again, I would just put an emphasis on we're well positioned and very happy to help out with, even if it's just in a consultative manner, with some of these mixed use developments like you just had alluded to, you know, kind of rethinking spaces so there's a combination of, you know, retail, office space and some residential. And I think that's the, you know, the new model that people are really looking at. And it has a great effect of revitalizing areas within cities and towns. So we definitely look forward to partnering on that.
I'll have my Chief Development Officer, Tim Sheen, reach out to you guys, gentlemen and young ladies, again, because I think that's all about it's all about a partnership, getting perspective, the pros and cons of a situation. We might see something that you don't see, but just as important, you might see something that we don't see. And that interaction is key. And I know with the Chamber of Commerce, and mentioned with Nancy Creed, she, you know, we meet, and always, you know, it's a difficult thing when you're balancing, when you're doing the tax rate, to try to be respectful of homeowners, but also trying to be respectful of keep businesses going on that. And you know, we reached a fair accord this last time around. But the market, you guys know better than anybody else, the market has been very, very strong, and you know, that's a testament to the momentum we had, the work that you do, what we have to offer, the housing stock, and if somehow this east-west rail can be pulled off, and what we have to offer here, and what I say the Golden West, that'll be good for me here in the city of Springfield, but it'll also be good for the realtors in Springfield and the greater Springfield area. And my good four-letter word, and it's not snow, but it's jobs, J-O-B-S.
Yes.
People are working, they can buy homes, they can pay mortgages, they can pay their taxes, or they can rent a property and get a lease. We're continuing to move a lot more, as you know, with a lot of market rate housing in our downtown area. There's a phenomenon, what was going on before COVID-19. We hope it continues on after we defeat COVID-19. But a lot of empty nesters, baby boomers, and the millennials, they love the action of downtown. If you give them the housing amenities, the work amenities, and the entertainment amenities, they like that type of action. So we're continuing that, moving on that. But I also want to continue on the improvements of quality of life in our neighborhoods. And I see a lot of the houses, and Elias, you'll appreciate this, a lot of the first-time home buyers that I sign Billy at probably every other week, many minority nature, many Latinas that are buying homes here in the city of Springfield, all across the city. And that's good because they continue not only to establishing roots, they expand their roots here, but that's key. And you have a lot of young people that the ability now to buy a home.
Definitely. Yeah, we've got lots of people buying homes, and one of the things that we are experiencing with this, such a strong seller's market is this lack of inventory. We've got 56 homes on the market today in Springfield, which is nothing compared to what we would typically have. So, it shows you against, strong area for people to be looking for, historically great place for first-time home buyers to get into, and certainly something that we look forward to working with you to help on.
And you offer yourselves, besides our first-time home buyers, by Springfield Now, we work together, you offer a lot of opportunities to get your foot in the door to buy a home. And a great story is a former intern of mine. Young lady, African-American young lady, Bria Brantley. When I first, 15 years old, was interning. Great, she's done well, college, the whole 9 yards. She now, for the first time, homeowner, bought her first home. And that's what we want. We want our young people to be able to stay here and invest in the city of Springfield. But nothing like owning your own home, and there's nothing wrong with renting or leasing. But when you own your own home, that pride that is shown about making sure your stoop is clean and everything is done in that neighborhood pride is cool. But Elias, you had a big point there. Yeah, the market's great. It's fantastic. But you unload something, where are you going to go, and what's your price point at that point in time? So that's sort of a conundrum. Then it's sort of good in one way, but it's in another way it's a challenge. How are you handling that now? I mean, 56 houses, that's it?
That is it today.
Well, that's a huge issue, Mr. Mayor. And because it's not just inventory, it's the result of low inventory, right? And we have, by the way, the inventory, one key takeaway for people to be aware of is that the low inventory started.
Oh, you went mute, Peter.
I muted myself. Apologies. So
all right. A lot of times people want to mute me, so
yeah, not here. We don't. So, but quickly, I'll say that the shortage of inventory really started pre-COVID. Now, COVID certainly had an effect on the marketplace, and it certainly had an effect on how we conduct our business. But COVID did not cause the housing shortage. Certainly not here in Massachusetts. And the governor's housing bill, the Housing Choices Act, recently passed, and that is great news, I think, for communities across the state. It applies differently, obviously, for different. It's going to apply differently here than a more rural community, but that's good news. The downside is that focuses on the new development, and one of the challenges right now in the new development is the increased cost. And there was an article that ran yesterday nationally that said that the average construction up $24,000, a little bit higher. So it's $24,000 more expensive to buy new construction than it was pre-COVID. And that's because of the supply chain that was affected. So materials are still in high demand, but there's less of them. A lot of the production mills went down on the construction side of things. So there are a lot of factors that go into this. again, things like the housing bill, that's encouraging, and we think that's a great step forward. And hopefully, as you said before, we're powering through this COVID thing, and hopefully the vaccines will do their thing and we get back to normal. But yeah, there are certainly some unique challenges when it comes to supply and demand. And just a quick comment, by the way, and I know Elias will agree with me here, that, you know, a lot of times people, they look at the market, what's going on out there right now, like, oh, you guys must love it. You know, houses sell in 2 seconds. It's like, well, you know, look, actually, no, we like a more stable market. We like a more affordable market, you know, and you said yourself, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, great time to sell, but where are you going to go? Right. And so now it's not easy to sell a house. There are just different challenges with it. So we adapt. But again, we do have a lot of tools here through our association to help address these issues and try to alleviate, you know, some of the issues that we're facing right now, real estate wise. Because as I like to say, we don't sell houses, we sell communities. Right.
And I love that. And I love that. And you hit it right ahead about supply and demand. Went through with this COVID-19 that being able to get your hands on materials, supplies, PPEs, you know, we should never be held hostage from other countries. I think one thing that has shown us we need to be able to make and do American here and not be held hostage on. That's extremely, extremely important. And that housing bill with Governor Baker and Secretary Keneally, who had reached out to them, we lobbied for it because you got to bring some type of affordability.
Absolutely.
You have the high-end homes, Ron. You have the middle-of-the-run homes for the first-time home buyers. Workforce housing. That's what workforce housing, where people are working. They're able to afford a home. So we pushed for that, but you're absolutely right. The increased cost now of building a new home. We're also looking at programs to keep people in their homes, be able to, the rehab programs so they're able to stay in their homes, but the supply and demand on the material, though it's quelled a little bit in the beginning, and again, some people were getting prosecuted on some of the prices that they were putting across. Everything hinges on, and we will defeat this COVID-19. I've said it from the beginning. And we will beat it. To restore complete public confidence, consumer confidence, business confidence, we got to punch this COVID-19 right in the face. You get that, people are hungry. They're hungry. They want to be out there. They want to be out there. They want to have a good time. They want to buy homes. They want to invest. And I think there's going to be so much pent-up positive energy. And it's all on how we harness it. Moving forward, I think that's key to vaccines that are now out there, and we're putting out all the information and facts on it, so people make their decision. But I always said, on medical challenges, conspiracy theories never solve medical challenges. Vaccines do, and I tried to play, not that this is about public health, not about playing politics on it, but I feel good, we're moving in the right direction. Had a good team on the field, headed by my Commissioner of Health and Human Services, Helen Fulton Harris. As you know, my cabinet heads down the rank and file, they've been tested and true. We've dealt with a number of natural and man-made disasters and been able to rebound bigger, better, and stronger. But with those disasters, and like you, when you have homes, you're selling homes and something comes up and you know exactly what it is. So you know what hit you, and you know how to hit that. This COVID-19 has been like shadow boxing. It's ever evolving. How's it going to move and where's it going to hit next? But the market has been good. There needs to be more inventory, and I think that's extremely important. But we want to continue to partner with you and work with you and get the pros and cons. Again, you might see things that we don't see, and we might see, we see things that you might not see.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we want to be respectful of your time as well, and I speak on behalf of all of our membership and Brendan and Elias here. And I want to thank you as well as Mr. Baker for joining us. Always great to talk with you. As you said, we've been great partners in the past. We look forward to continuing that partnership moving forward. And we really want to thank you for your time today.
Well, I want to thank you very, very much. I'll have my Chief Development Officer, Tim Sheehan, reach out to you again. And Peter, hello to your wife, Elias, mom and dad. Kevin Sears, I know you're not on, but hello to you. And you tell that great son of yours, Lehman, I said hello. And to Brendan, thank you. See, Brendan Bailey. So I'm thinking now because of Ruffini. I said in the beginning we spoke. Ruffino, the wine, right? So you have Brendan Bailey. That would be Bailey's there. And in Elias, I have to think about that, how we could, because there's going to come a time, once we punch this COVID-19 in the face, we're going to be able to celebrate. Okay?
Absolutely.
So to each and every one of you, good health, continued success, and God bless. I'm off to Indian Orchard now. We have another Fire Academy graduate.
Excellent. Again, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you again.
Thank you, Mayor Sarno. Thank you.